Doug Miles along with Don Henderson. We're here at Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. Opening day of the spring training season. Tampa Bay Rays in town, Don, to take on the Orioles. We just watched a little batting practice, and always optimistic like we mentioned in our previous report, Don, but a little turmoil ahead for both of these teams.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Lee Thomas, assistant general manager here with the Orioles, for about 15 minutes and gave us a little thumbnail sketch of the Orioles, but at the same time, we're all going to have to learn who the Rays are. They've made so many roster moves and changes. It's going to be very, very interesting. Everybody has a different opinion about what direction the Rays are actually going.
Yeah, big stories down here in the Tampa Bay area the last couple of weeks, particularly with they want to build a new stadium up in Tampa and Ybor City area, but going along with that, the Rays are unloading a lot of players. They did again yesterday as we talked today. They got rid of their Dickerson. Corey Dickerson goes to the Pirates. They got rid of some other players, big names. Of course, Evan Longoria to the Giants in the offseason, and Rays fans are wondering what's going on.
Yeah, it is funny because we're talking about a team now in transition, and even Dick Vitale had a big play. He's been a season ticket holder since the Rays actually came to St. Petersburg, but he just doesn't understand how they can continue to reduce the payroll of the team and expect to compete at the major league level. And Dick, who normally is not really controversial, and he came out with a big piece in the paper yesterday talking about they've got to be competitive to have the people spend the money for the tickets, and they have enough trouble selling tickets from day one.
Yeah, he was calling on Sternberg to sell the team.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a rarity for him to call out an owner of the team, but he's been a season ticket holder, like you said, since day one.
Yeah. And
always sits right by the dugout.
Yeah, and it's just a shame because they went through that 4-year stretch, and we're either competitive or got to the playoffs and got to the World Series and so forth, and all of a sudden it's just sort of all going downhill for them. And granted, they changed the administrative people. The former general manager now out in Los Angeles with the Dodgers, do a good job out there. But the fans of not only Tampa, but the fans of St. Petersburg in the area deserve to have a major league team if you're going to pay major league prices for tickets.
Kevin Kiermaier, in an interview the other day I saw, he was vocally upset about it. He said, I'm trying to be professional about it, but he was very upset that the team was unloading so many big-name players.
Yeah, and it's just, as I say, we're here today, and you look at the roster, and how many people do you really know that are going to come back for the 18th season? And it's going to be very, very difficult. They averaged, 10,000, 11,000 last year, which has been really a problem since day one, whether it's the trop, whether it's whatever the conditions are, that they just haven't drawn that well. Now, I just can't see how they can draw fans.
Yeah, I just wonder, how do you sell to your fan base down here when you're unloading so many big players? And now you have a stadium you want to get built. How do you get local businesses excited about that?
Well, that's what they're hoping. You talked about Ybor City, but you're talking, 2022.
Right.
This is 18. How can you go from 2018 and get to 2022 and not spend any money?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Orioles a little bit. You mentioned we talked to Lee Thomas, the assistant GM, and of course they've been undergoing some roster issues. Manny Machado, you talked about with him, who we said last year may be on the move. He did not leave. He's going to play this year, but he's a free agent at the end of this year.
Yeah, I think they tried to do something with it in the offseason, but they couldn't get enough really young talent to make the move. And as I said to Lee, and you and I were chatting with him just a minute ago, that's a big sign. That's a big sign. And I don't know whether, he's at the age, a young age. He's not a veteran player who's been around a long time. He's been around a long time, but he's a young player. And he's going to want an extended contract for an awful lot of money.
Well, we saw Buck Showalter walking around, kind of keeping things in order as we start the Grapefruit League season. Always a lot of fun, opening day here in Sarasota, and we'll be here throughout spring training with hopefully some better news for Tampa Bay Rays fans and Orioles fans, but we'll keep an eye on it, Don, and hopefully we'll have some good baseball.
Doug, we always have a great time doing it. We'll do it again this season.
Very good.
Okay.
About 4 minutes there.